My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, and that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. We don't often consider the apostles as bodyguards or as crowd control specialists, but I think it's helpful to remember that sometimes in their ministry, that is precisely what they had to do. As Jesus' fame began to spread, more and more people wanted to see him, to touch him, to listen to his teachings, to be near him and to follow him. And so the apostles and the disciples of the Lord, the men and women who were helping you, Jesus, sometimes they had to act as bodyguards and as crowd control specialists. We see this especially today in this poignant moment where Jesus, you're teaching at the seaside by the Sea of Galilee, and the crowds become too great. We read, Jesus withdrew with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed, also from Judaea and Jerusalem and Idumaea, and from beyond the Jordan, and from about Tyre and Sidon, a great multitude, hearing all that he did, came to him. And he told his disciples to have a boat ready for him because of the crowd, lest they should crush him. For he had healed many, so that all who had diseases pressed upon him to touch him. And whenever the unclean spirits beheld him, they fell down before him and cried out, "You are the Son of God." And he strictly ordered them not to make him known. It's a poignant scene because we see Jesus, a kind of tension between the many, many people that want to touch you, to be healed by you. They come with their needs, and you want to be with each one of them, and yet physically it's becoming too much, and you're actually in danger of being literally crushed by the crowds, trampled over by all of these people who are pressing up against you, and it's like you're being pressed up against the coastline. And so the apostles, some of them fishermen, have their boats at the ready. They have their boat ready to be able to rescue you in this situation. We know that, Lord, your love is inventive. Your love is creative, meaning you find a way to love each of those people, even in situations that are trying, even when it's hard to reach everybody. And it's inventive, it's creative, because you come up with a great solution. You tell the apostles, have this boat ready, and then you are able to get into the boat and set off a little bit from the shore so that you can continue to teach those that have come to listen to you and be seen by everybody, be heard by everybody. We know that this was one of your tactics. Maybe you were an acoustic specialist because being on the water, your voice would travel more clearly and it would reach to more people. It's like getting up on a big stage with a microphone. You get up on that boat, you set out into the water a little bit so that more people can see you, and also that there is no longer this turmoil where people are trying to crush you or touch you such that it creates a danger for you and for them. It's a beautiful solution. Love is creative. It always finds a way. And Lord, you have this desire to reach each one of those souls, not just a few of them, but all of them. And you want all of them to hear your voice. We know that this boat tactic of teaching from the boat was on display at the very beginning of your ministry when you called Peter for the first time. In fact, that's how you introduced yourself. You stepped into his boat and you asked him to set up a little bit from the shore so that you could teach the crowds. And here we see you doing this once again. How to reach everyone. How to provide each person what they need. We all feel this, Lord, because we as Christians and as followers of you have also decided to imitate your apostolic heart. We have the heart of the Good Shepherd who cares for his sheep, who longs to draw them closer. And you look out to the crowd and you see sheep without a shepherd. You see sheep that are wandering about. You see chaos. You see also sheep who are wounded and need to be healed. And so your heart goes out to them as a shepherd, the Good Shepherd. And the Good Shepherd, the sheep hear his voice and they listen to him, they follow him. We know too that when the crowds came to you, Lord, they were satisfied. Sometimes they were satisfied by your voice. Standing there on the shore or sitting there on the beach, they could listen to you for hours, and they're satisfied by your teaching. They can exclaim, "He does all things well." But other times they're satisfied by the food that you provide. We can think of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes. The story concludes with the gospel saying that all ate their full. They were satisfied. In fact, they ate all that they wanted and there were leftovers. This is what we want, Lord, that everybody is able to hear your voice and is satisfied. I remember being once on a trip. I went to the canonization of St. Josemaria in Rome, and it was the year 2002. And it was a huge gathering, one of the biggest gatherings that had taken place in St. Peter's up to that point. Not only was the entire St. Peter's Square filled with people, but the crowds went all the way back to the river Tiber, and even in the river, there were people in boats. So all the way back, it was filled with people. And you might think, well, that's a massive gathering. Those who were in the back must have felt left behind. But that wasn't the case. It was a very intimate gathering at the same time. It felt like a big family get-together. And there were reasons why it worked. One of them was that there were big screens and really good sound so that wherever you were, you could follow very closely the ceremony. Another reason was that communion was thought out very well so that everybody could receive communion if they wanted to, regardless of where they were in the crowd. They had these umbrellas that marked where the priest was holding the hosts. It was very clear and very organized. And then the translation was wonderful. They had these radio frequencies or stations that you could tune into to follow the ceremony in your own language and just have your own little radio there by your ear. It almost felt like the translator was right next to you, whispering into your ear what was going on. And then, of course, the best thing of all was that the Pope in his Pope-mobile made a point of coming down at the end of Mass and driving all the way through St. Peter's Square, up and down the aisles, and then all the way down Via Conciliazione, practically to the river and back, so that people could see him closely. It was a beautiful experience where, even though it was such a massive gathering with thousands of people, it felt very intimate. And it kind of emphasizes, Lord, this point of yours, that you want everybody to see you and to hear you. Out of 100 souls, you're interested in 100. Out of 1,000 souls, you're interested in 1,000. And everyone is capable of hearing your voice. Everyone is capable of recognizing you, Jesus, even the demons who shout, "You are the Son of God." Lord, give me a shepherd's heart. Give me the same creative love to find ways to reach people, to find ways to allow your voice, your teaching, to reach them and resonate in their hearts. Help me not to give up on people, to stay close to them, to be interested in all souls, so that just like you Out of 100 souls, I can reach all of them with your grace. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.